Who's ready to rock today, Fire Nation? JLD here, and welcome to Entrepreneurs on Fire, the only daily show interviewing the world's top entrepreneurs 7 days a week. Today, we'll be breaking down why social impact is the currency of the future. To drop these value bombs, I have brought Michelle Jewsbury into EO Fire Studios. Michelle is the CEO of Unsilenced Voices and is an internationally recognized speaker and coach, transforming adversity into success. She empowers survivors to leverage their personal narratives for growth and healing. And today, Fire Nation, we'll talk about Unsilenced Voices. We'll talk about storytelling and how it plays a role in attracting donors. We'll also talk about how operating a for-profit and a nonprofit enhances the credibility of your mission, and so much more. And a big thank you for sponsoring today's episode goes to Michelle and our sponsors. Over 41,000 businesses have future-proofed their business with NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud ERP, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR into one platform. Download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning for free at netsuite.com/fire. Want to learn how to get booked and paid to speak? Great news. I've arranged direct access to my good friend Grant Baldwin's proven speaking business system from the Speaker Lab. Go to eofire.com/speaker to grab your spot for our live training on May 28th and learn how to get booked and paid to speak. Michelle, say what's up to Fire Nation and share something that you believe about becoming successful that most people disagree with.
What's up, Fire Nation? Super excited to be here. Hello, John. You know what's interesting is you recently did an interview with Eric Tivers.
Yes.
And he talked a lot about burnout and the 80-hour work week. And the one thing that I really want to emphasize is it's okay to take a break, to step back in order to step back in, because oftentimes you get to see a different angle, a different goal, a different role that you can do just by stepping back.
I actually love that phrase, stepping back to step back in. I don't think I've ever heard it before. So I'm going to use it the next 2 times. I'm going to give you credit, Michelle. Then it's mine forever. That's just how it works. So step back
I love that.
to step back in. And I actually try to do that twice every day. I take my dog on a walk at 5:30 a.m. every morning. And that's just my way of just relaxing, being outside in the Caribbean. And I do the exact same thing at 4:30 p.m. every evening. I'm back out at the end of the day. It's just a reset, having the sun and the blue sky and just having that ability to step back so I can step back in. So thank you for sharing that. I love it. And today, Fire Nation, we'll talk about why social impact is the currency of the future. And your story is powerful. I mean, we got to meet in person a few weeks back at PodFest, and it was a cool experience for me because I got to hear a little bit about you and your story with Unsilenced Voices, which is why you're here today. So tell the rest of Fire Nation the story that led you to creating Unsilenced Voices.
Yeah. So back in 2012, I ended up meeting somebody who I thought was my Prince Charming. And lo and behold, it turned out to be a very, very violent relationship. Now, when you meet me in person, you don't assume that I went through a domestic violence relationship. I'm a very strong, independent woman. Thank you. And I did not grow up with any type of abuse in the household. When I met my guy at that time, he courted me and sent me gifts and flowers, and I fell head over heels. And then about 4 months into that relationship is when the physical violence started and escalated for 4 years. After I escaped that situation, I felt called to do something even more with my story, because it's not about what we go through. It's about how we respond to what we go through. And I felt God call me to do something huge. And in 2017, I founded the nonprofit organization Unsilenced Voices. We began in West Africa. Sierra Leone is where the bulk of our programming still exists. And we have done a lot of work in the United States and looking to expand. So it's an incredible story, an incredible journey, but it's important for your listeners to know that no matter what it is that you go through, you can make a huge impact and use your story to help other people.
Well, you can tell Fire Nation that there's a reason why Michelle is an internationally recognized speaker. I mean, she tells her story very well with passion and with conciseness, which a lot of people aren't able to do. So I really appreciate that. And Michelle, you have empowered many survivors through your coaching and advocacy work. Share a real world example of this.
Yeah, definitely. So I run a for-profit and a nonprofit organization. And with my for-profit, for example, we do a book collaboration every year, and it's called Breaking the Silence: Voices of Survivors. So I encourage 20 authors to tell their story to help other people overcome ailments such as disease or chronic fatigue or depression, anxiety, domestic violence situations, sexual assault, you name it, all kinds of different adversities that we faced. So I also teach a program called Legacy Camp, where I get to teach people how to tell their stories through public speaking, publishing books of your own, and creating courses and content. And of course, with our advocacy work, we have monthly sensitization meetings, we have open forum discussions, and counseling with unsilenced voices. So it's a lot that we get to do, and I am just honored to be able to coach and encourage those people to break free from what it is that they've gone through.
I'm such a big fan of stories. I try to bring them into every single interview that I do because to me, they resonate with people so deeply. That's why history is his story, her story. I mean, we just go way back. We love sitting around campfires and telling stories. We resonate with that so much. So in your opinion, what role does storytelling play in attracting donors specifically to unsilenced voices?
No matter if you're running a for-profit or a nonprofit organization, people will buy into what you do because they like and they trust you. See, when you tell stories, when you talk authenticity and transparency, when you tell your story in a genuine way and portray that you are a real human, that you are down to earth, that you are not one of these people that walk in front of the camera and say one thing and then walk off the camera and say something else, then people will be attracted to what it is that you're doing. So storytelling is essential in attracting donors and attracting clients in order to grow. And with your story, people will trust you. And that means that they will buy into what you do and be able to donate and help and really kind of move your cause and your mission forward, no matter where it is that you're going.
Fire Nation, I hope you understand the power of what Michelle is sharing and how you can implement that into your life, into your business, whether it be a non-for-profit or a for-profit. It's such a powerful story. It's such a powerful strategy as well, because that know, like, and trust, that openness, that honesty, that transparency, I mean, that's what's going to allow people to connect with you on a meaningful level. And wow, do we have a lot more to talk about around this topic when we get back from thanking our sponsors. Speaking from stage is one of the most impactful ways I found to share my message and grow my business. But if you've never done it before, it can seem intimidating. How do you get booked and paid to speak if you've never done it before? Great question. And to answer it, I've arranged direct access to my good friend Grant Baldwin's proven speaking business system from the Speaker Lab. This is a live training where you'll learn the proven 5-step process that led Grant to over 500 paid gigs, current paid speaking opportunities you can pursue right now, plus the #1 marketing tool that's working for his students in 2025. The Speaker Lab is committed to helping 1,000 new speakers land paid gigs this year, and I'd love for you to be one of them. This live training is going down May 28th, and there are limited spots available. So head over to eofire.com/speaker to grab your spot on this live training where you can ask questions and get them answered, plus learn how to get booked and paid to speak. That's eofire.com/speaker. It would be really nice if we could predict what the future holds for our business. Talk about saving a lot of time and frustration, but predictions are just that, predictions. Rates will rise or fall, inflation's up or down. Can someone please invent a crystal ball? Until we can actually see into the future, over 41,000 businesses have future-proofed their business with NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud ERP, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR into one fluid platform. NetSuite gives you one source of truth so you can have the visibility visibility and control you need to make quick decisions. And with real-time insights and forecasting, you can see into the future with actionable data. If our business needed this type of software, I'd use NetSuite in a heartbeat, because whether your company is earning millions or even hundreds of millions, NetSuite helps you respond to immediate challenges and seize your biggest opportunities. Speaking of opportunity, download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning at netsuite.com/fire. The guide is free for you at netsuite.com/fire. netsuite.com/fire. Michelle, we're back, and I love personally hearing unique strategies. So share with us an innovative way that you've engaged with donors to support unsilenced voices.
So I think it's really important that donors and their sponsees are able to communicate. So one of the ways that we engage our donors is we have a flagship program called Sponsor a Survivor. And I'm going to tell you just a brief little story about this. Back in 2017, maybe 18, I flew to Sierra Leone, and one of my managers said, I want to take you to a bar. And I was like, why do we want to go to a bar? But he said, just trust me. So we went and sat down, and he said, look around. And I saw a lot of young girls, and I didn't realize that they were selling themselves for $1, maybe $2. And he said, this is where I want to help. And I said, okay, what do we want to do? And he said, let's enroll these young girls into vocational training, and we can help them get off of the streets. They can start their own businesses. So we started a program called Sponsor a Survivor. Our first young girl, her name was Matilda. She was a firecracker, amazing young girl. The teachers would WhatsApp me all the time and say, she is off the chains. I don't know how to handle her. It was crazy because she was just spunky, but she worked real hard. She wanted to get off the streets, and she was encouraging to other young girls as well. Unfortunately, Matilda had contracted HIV, and she ended up passing away from AIDS later that year in her village. So we decided to name our flagship program after Matilda. It's Matilda's program. So you can go to sponsораsurvivor.org, get more information about the program. It's only $100 a month, and you are able to pay for a young girl to go through vocational training, their training materials, a monthly stipend, counseling, and medical. So super important to be able to engage. We also have been able to incorporate Web3 technology and crypto. So we take crypto. We did an NFT art competition in Sierra Leone not too long ago. So you can purchase NFTs on the blockchain that were actually created by young girls in Sierra Leone.
I love what you're doing. I mean, you're going cutting edge with what's out there right now in the crypto world, and just really having these innovative strategies that are going to just make an impact is such a powerful way to operate. And speaking of operating, I mean, how does operating a for-profit and a nonprofit enhance the credibility specifically of your mission?
Operating both has been, I should say, definitely a lot of work, right? But it represents to donors and to clients that there's something even more. See, social impact is the currency of the future. And in order to attract people, as we've discussed in the past questions, people have to like and trust you. So in order for them to like and trust you, they want to know that you are bigger than just your brand, right? They want to know that you have something even larger going on. And when you run both a for-profit and a nonprofit, your clients, your supporters can see that you have a mission. You've got something huge that you are accomplishing, that you are doing to give back to society. Now, it doesn't have to be a huge nonprofit organization, but your social impact is what's so key and important. If you care for animals, do something for animals. If you care about the planet, do something. Just take action. There are so many people out there who don't put a foot forward, and they run their daily lives day in and day out, go to work, come back, play with their kids, maybe watch some TV and do it all over again. We are meant to do something even more with what it is that we've gone through, and use our stories and use our wants, our desires to be able to give back in a larger way.